Hey guys, it's Tana and welcome back to my channel and another video for Not2Shabby. So yay! Early March, the new release for Not2Shabby for spring summertime. And we have these 4 stamp sets right here. Spring is in the air, tea time buddies, summertime buddies, and picnic fun. Excuse me, and I'll show those again at the end of the video. So welcome to the Hop. Hop along to see the creations everybody's made with the new stamp sets for spring and summer. If you don't like the coloring, you can go ahead and skip to the time I had up there on the screen. If not, it's not going to take that long. So I decided to make a slider. And I think it turned out pretty good. It's been a while since I've made a slider card, and I don't have any slider dies. So I'm going to show you how to do a slider when you don't have any slider dies. This real quick coloring, I only show you how I colored the puppy. Just some teals and pinks for his floaty, and some browns for his body. I stamped out every stamp in the Summer Time Buddies stamp set. I don't end up using the drink and the popsicle. Not on this card anyway, but they are so cute. Excuse me. I don't know if my voice sounds different to you guys, but I'm losing my voice again. And I'm hiding out in the car the night before a supposed blizzard is supposed to come. Yes, it is almost March. It will be March when you see this, and we are expecting a blizzard. So, yay. Yay me. Don't I sound excited? Anyway, back to the card. Like I said, real simple coloring. I will have quite a few videos for you this month showing each of these stamp sets and all the fun we can have with it. I did some ink blending for my waves and sand, and I tried to keep this short as well, just showing you how I applied the colors. I was going for a greenish blue ocean, and I wanted to make sure I had enough to cut waves out. So you see that little strip up there, and then I did a regular card size panel. And I used all Catherine Pooler inks in this video. So we used Hot Tub and Seafoam for the greens. And I know Hot Tub's a light blue, but it kind of matched the tone of the Seafoam. And it was the lightest color out of the ones I chose. And then for the darker blues, I did Fiesta Blues, Something Borrowed, and Suede Shoes. And you just see me go back and forth, blending in certain areas to get the look that I wanted. And you'll see how that turned out in a minute. And I wanted to show you my sand because I did it differently. I used these blending brushes, one from Tonic, one from Tim+Holtz, and 2 colors of Catherine Pooler ink. And I more like stippled it rather than blended it. And it did give me the sand look that I wanted, so that is my preferred sand method from here on in. And then I took my handmade cloud stencil, and I made this by using my Lawn Fawn stitch cloud edges, and just did each one on 3 sides of a piece of quilting plastic. And I brought out that hot tub once again. Excuse me, guys. And did the edges of the clouds, and then I went over the entire thing very, very lightly with Catherine Pooler's It's a Boy, very, very light blue. There's the waves there. I'm so happy with the way they turned out. They could have used a little more green, but I do like the way they turned out. And I didn't have any wave dies, so I used Ocean Waves Pop-Up by Lawn Fawn, and then I used my Stitch Hillside dies to cut out the sand. And now I have the waves where I want them to be placed, and I'm just drawing. This is how I do it to make sure I place each wave back where I wanted it. So the first 2 are going to get glued flat to the card. There's going to be dimension, but only where the slider and the sand are. So that's what our slider space is going to look like. And I don't have a slider die, so I'm going to use that piece of the interactive swing die from MFT. And you guys can do this, at home. Any die you have that you think can make a slider. Try to have it to have curved edges, but it doesn't have to. It can be a square. It can be a strip for a sentiment, a rectangle strip for a sentiment, anything like that. And I'll show you how to make it any length you want. So here I'm seeing where I want it on the card. So now we're going to pick that wave up after we tape this down for the first time, and we're going to have to die cut it twice. So I'm going to tape that down, and I like using a manual die cutting machine for this because it's easier to make sure you're cutting where you want to cut. And I'm lining up that top cutting plate. I'm stopping the cutting plate where I want it to stop cutting. That way I can run it all the way through and it doesn't cut more than I want it to. So there's our flap there of what it cut off. And now I'm lining up that same edge to where I want it to be in the opposite direction. That way, and I'm lining up nice and straight so we get a nice even cut. And there's our slider space. So now you see I have some white in that opening, so I'm going to use another piece of my scrap waves. And I'm going to glue that down so that it still looks like Ocean when he's sliding back and forth. And now I'm going to use, this is my first time using the MFT spin and slide discs. Usually I use a circular foam dimensional. And that works as well, but I usually have to use 2 depending on the thickness of whatever brand I buy. These are thick enough to use only 1. My image was bigger, so I used 2 spaced apart on the penny. And you want to make sure you have a penny on the back because the weight makes it slide back and forth. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, sorry, I sound out of breath, but I'm trying to make sure I'm talking with enough force for you guys to hear me. I'm probably straining my throat. I'm using one of the sentiments from the set, and I stamped up there, floating by to say hi. And I used Catherine Pooler's suede shoes. And now I'm using some more Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. I think last time I actually used multimedia matte glue in my syringe. But it took too long to dry, so the second time I used Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. And that one was going paper to plastic, and the other one was going plastic to metal. So now I'm just going to glue all my sand images down. I have 3 starfish and a sandcastle. And if you look carefully, my little sandcastle has an N2S on the flag for Not2Shabby. And I only put glue on the bottom half of that sandcastle because the top half will be sticking up above the sand. On the inside, I'm going to use another sentiment from the same set. It says, "Stay cool." And I used the popsicle, 1 on each side. So I did use it, but I didn't color it in. I left the inside black and white. Now I'm putting my foam tape around the slider part of the wave. You want to be sure that your penny slides freely back and forth without being stopped by your foam tape. So I made sure that that was doable. And then I used my powder tool to powder up that space really good so it slides super fast. And there we go. So now I'm going to carefully place my sand, which also has the same amount of foam tape. I forgot to tell you. I doubled up my foam tape. Depending on the thickness of your foam tape, you may have to double it up 3 times. So it all depends on the thickness of the foam tape that you have. 2 times worked for me. Now I'm just putting double-sided tape on the back of the entire panel and putting it flat to our white card base. And that's it, guys. There's our slider card. Make sure you hop along. I'll have the next person down below. I probably have everybody listed down below. I'm not sure how it's going to work yet. And also don't forget to check out all our design team videos throughout the month to see the rest of the stamp sets for the spring-summer release in action. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like what you saw today, and hit that notification bell because there's a giveaway, at least 1 every month on my channel. And that's it for now, guys. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.